How does this work? All right, so we're back again, Sombre del Piso. Somewhere in the city, somewhere on Earth. Decided to enjoy my day off by giving another video to you guys in the middle of nowhere. We're gonna talk about something very, very profound as per usual. That's with all my videos, so tune in and always don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. For the people that haven't been tuning into my recent live streams, I read the Bhagavad Gita one more time. Very, very good read. We learned a lot. Essentially what I've learned is basically not to chase the fruits of labor, but rather chase labor for labor's sake, because we must provide action in this universe of ours, right? There's more things, but I'm like sort of downplaying them. I decided to continue with this whole reading religious texts over again, so I'm reading the Bible over again. And I'm not up to this part that I'm going to talk about in this video, but it was just very, very interesting, you know, just in case there are these people, the naysayers, the ones that don't really believe that religion talks about being celibate, being sexually continent. So we're gonna go and talk about Proverbs, specifically Proverbs chapter 5 today. And we're gonna read through it, and we're gonna compare some lines and knowledge of semen retention that we already do have, and see if we could elucidate aspects of the Bible, namely in this video, Proverbs, that talk about semen retention. So let's go, let's get right into it. What we have here is we downloaded some app, the Bible app, King James Version. This version of the Bible is the most important, actually. It's the most accurate, right? If you're trying to get close to the Greek Bible. So let's begin. So first of all, let's give you guys a little history of the Proverbs chapter. I'm sure all of us are aware of King Solomon, right? And we know him on a basic level for the casual Bible readers. So what happened was we had King David, you know, David and Goliath. He, used a slingshot and then slayed the Philistines, right? And Goliath was like one of the champions of the Philistines. But anyway, the reason why David was able to do it, because he was ordained by God. He was meant to unite the tribes of Israel after their going back and forth about believing in God during the times of Moses and Aaron and the grand exodus from Egypt. Moses passed on, so Joshua took the helm and all that stuff. So David did the ultimate sin, which was he slept with someone else's wife and then tried to placate the guy, the husband of the wife. And then the husband obviously wasn't having it, and he put the husband to death. So God cursed him and his kin, David's son being King Solomon. King Solomon, we thought, as we learned more about his story, we thought that he could escape the curse of God because he chose to he asked for God's wisdom in order to liberate himself. But what did he end up doing? He ended up sleeping with many, many wives of different lands and different tribes. God then continued the condemnation of his people and said, listen, you will have sons, and your sons will always be at war. They'll always have discord with each other. And the people of Israel will not have a leader. For years, they will pray to other gods, and then afterwards, I will smite them all. So King Solomon, in his last couple days, decided to write to us. Ecclesiastes was a very powerful chapter too, but Proverbs, warning everyone that's thinking about disobeying God to not disobey God, and these are the reasons why. So we're going to start with Proverbs 5. So what did he say here? He says, first line, my son, attend unto my wisdom and bow thine ear to my understanding. So beginning the chapter, he's already begging with us to listen to him. Please, he's like, please listen to me, because trust me, I have thought the same things that you have thought. I thought that I could escape punishment, but in reality, I could not. I just want anyone that comes after me to be able to escape the punishment that have been brought unto my bloodline and the bloodline of the Israelites, right? That thou mayest regard discretion and that thy lips may keep knowledge, right? That you don't utter things that spread discord into the world and spread separation, as he did with the children of Israel, right? For the lips, now he gets straight into it, this guy, King Solomon. For the lips of a strange woman drop as an honeycomb, and her mouth is as smoother as oil, but her end is as bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. guys, he already gets right into it, the King Solomon. What is he talking about, right? Strange woman, is he talking about like a woman that's like has psychopathic tendencies, woman that dresses strangely, like, you know, she doesn't wear color coordinated things? No. In the Bible, remember, everything is outlined already, everything's defined. So the strange woman was mentioned already. The strange woman is the one that does not sort of have any morals, that does not have any sort of creeds or beliefs. She only seeks to be licentious, to be promiscuous, to be open, right? She does not belong to one man, but many. And he says to us that the lips of a strange woman drop as honeycomb. Her words will be sweet. It will sound very, very appealing, right? And her mouth is smoother than oil. She knows how to speak to anyone of any class, any type of man, any man with various experiences. This woman will know how to speak to. But her end, right? The conclusion, right? Her fate is as bitter as wormwood and as sharp as a two-edged sword. That means she is already condemned. When you are promiscuous, when you are a promiscuous individual and you seek to try to sway, men that are not necessarily men of God, men of any sort of caliber, but just men that just do their own thing, your soul, your destiny is already condemned. This is what King Solomon has written to us based on his experience with these type of women. Let's go on. Her feet go down to death. Her steps take hold on hell. Do you understand, guys? So she, like I said in the previous line, she's already condemned to die, as we all are condemned to die, right? But when the Bible talks about death, or you shall be cut off from your people, or you shall surely die, these lines and phrases are a reference to the soul, the death of the soul, the death of the light in the individual, which meaning that there is a propagation of a hell, a certain type of hell, until this cleansing is resolved, right? Let's go forward. Lest thou shouldest ponder the path of her life, her ways are movable, that thou canst not know them. She's saying that because you will get swayed, you will get duped by the woman, right? It is possible, and it is very, very likely and very, very common. You will one day, maybe I could help this woman. You believe that there's some solution that could be found, but you are coming to her with advice from a place of rigidity, from a place of forms and tangible rooms and structured advice. But King Solomon already told us, because he has experience, her ways are movable. She does not know how to structure her life. She can't accept structure because there is no boundaries, no parameters in her life. There's no way that you could know them. It's almost like what Michael McDonald said in that song when he was in the Doobie Brothers, "What a Fool Believes." It's like, he said in the chorus, "What a fool believes, he sees. No wise man has the power to reason away." There's no way that if a person that has no structure or cannot receive advice can receive advice, because there's no way to apply that advice. There's no structure, no pillars in that person's life. This is what King Solomon is telling us. Let's move on. "Hear me now, therefore, O ye children, and depart not from the words of my mouth." He's begging us again to listen. He thought that he lost us in the beginning when he started talking about the destiny of the strange woman, but he's like trying to reel us in again, because King Solomon is speaking with passion and experience, because he was a man of God that took the blessing of God and decided to continue the wayward and rebellious line of the children of Israel, like his father before him, right? Let's keep going. "Remove thy way far from her, and come not nigh the door of her house, lest thou give thine honor unto others, and thy years unto the cruel." Now he's beginning to talk about semen retention, guys. We already know what semen retention is. It's about retaining your life force. You're retaining your experiences through life, and you are consistently changing your reality due to the reprogramming of your subconscious the longer you are on this practice, right? So We understand that people have their own experiences, their own temples, their own metaphysical structures that occur within their bodies, within their spaces, created by their habits, right? Created by what they ingest. He says here that the strange woman, with all the aforementioned things I said, they have their own structures, their own metaphysical doctrines, destinies, and habits that lend to the type of reality that they create for themselves. And he says there's no way to properly give advice or to properly change a strange woman. Stay away from this person. Do not come near their house. Not literally. Sure, that will help too, but do not go near, do not try to bargain, do not try to speak with a strange woman, lest thou get, and of course, a lot of the phrases that are spoken are multi-entendre. They have many, many different meanings, but they all allude to the same thing. When they talk about entering a strange woman's house, the house is something sacred, the house is something safe, which means that when you lay with a woman, when you fornicate, when you do that, King Solomon says, lest thou give thine honor unto others and thy years unto the cruel, which means that the energy, your metaphysical reality that you've created through the retention of the experiences around you and the reprogramming of your subconscious due to semen retention, it is now forfeited to this strange woman that has no structure, no boundaries, no parameters. So you have thrown away your experience and time and your years onto the cruel, the unforgiving, and the unrelenting, and the consistent gnashing of teeth, the all-consuming force and void that is the unstructured, the undisciplined individual. Let's continue. What do you say? Lest strangers be filled with thy wealth, and thy labors be in the house of a stranger. Guys, so then the Bible has all information that you need for life. Guys, I'm telling you this. What the hell is he talking about? Our King Solomon. He said, remember, he's a very, very intelligent man that has been through the vicissitudes of fate, subjected to a condemned reality because of his forefather, right? David and his other forefathers before him. When he says, lest strangers be filled with thy wealth, remember, the longer you are in semen retention, the more powerful energy that you are producing, the more of a change, more powerful high vibrational reality you are creating. And due to you entering the house of a strange woman and losing all that wealth, energy is never dissipated nor destroyed. We already discovered this from our predecessors that, had low-key beliefs in religion and God and the faith thereof. That force is then transferred to an individual that has no structure, like I said, or if they have structure, it is for cruel intentions, selfish intentions, self-gratification, right? Not for the liberation of all. And your labors, the labors of you doing semen retention, retaining, being disciplined, is now belonging to someone else. Let's continue. And thou mourn at the last, when thy flesh and thy body are consumed, because you are consistently fornicating with the strange woman, and you're losing your energy, you're losing your life, because there is no proper reciprocation that is happening, because the strange woman only consumes. This is what King Solomon is telling us. And you'll say, right, I'm just translating now, how have I hated instruction and my heart despised reproof, and have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined mine ear to them that instructed me. Guys, he's saying at the end, like I said this before, it is only when the individual has no energy, when they start to yearn the little that they have and try to build the little that they have, build up and get a little bit more than what they have. What King Solomon is saying is that when you're at the end of your rope, after you have consumed and you've been consumed and you've sinned, you then start to remember all of the lessons that you were told. Because at the end of the day, fate is the same to all individuals all around the world. You will learn what needs to be learned. And if you choose to listen, that is your duty. If you choose not to, that is your choice. You will be at the end after you have been consumed by the strange woman, and you will question yourself and the decisions you've made up to that point as to why you did not listen to reproof. I was almost in all evil in the midst of the congregation and assembly, right? That's a very powerful line. He's now, remember, it's King Solomon also trying to plead with us to listen. Third time, please listen. Because if I'm, and I think he's alluding to some sort of hypothetical situation where the person did listen to reprimand and reproof, and he's saying that this person was almost in the midst of evil at the congregation of evil and the assembly of evil. Let's move on. Now he gives us advice now. Drink waters out of thine own cistern and running waters out of thine own well. Let thy fountains be dispersed abroad and rivers of waters in the streets. Let them be only thine own and not strangers with thee. Do you understand what he's saying? Semen retention again. He is still talking about semen retention, only semen retention. Allow your energies, allow yourself to be turned on and accelerated and ascended by your own efforts, by your own labors, by your own energies. Do not allow your waters or your energies to be dispersed amongst the strange woman that King Solomon warns us about in the beginning of the chapter of Proverbs, right? He then says, if you are going to have a woman, right, let her be as let thy fountain be blessed, meaning that you are not mixing with the strange women, you are not metaphysically having a compromised reality due to mass fornication, right? And rejoice with the wife of thy youth. Let her be as the loving hind and the pleasant roe. Let her breast satisfy thee. Okay, he's getting naughty here. At all times, and be thou ravished always with her love. Preaching monogamy. Whatever these silly, okay, listen, I'm Nigerian. A lot of the African tribes, right? A lot of the African cultures always try to preach this polygamy type behavior, and then they sort of reference the Bible. And it's like, we hear this from King Solomon now. Be with one woman, be monogamous, be ravished and be sexually aroused by one individual, one woman, right? Lest you endanger the metaphysical structure of your house, therefore your reality. Let's continue. King Solomon pleading with us again. And why wilt thou, my son, be ravaged with a strange woman and embrace the bosom of a stranger, right? Saying essentially, there's nothing there. There is nothing there. Why would you go there? Seeking connection, because there's nothing there. It's only a pit. For the ways of men are before the eyes of the Lord, and he pondereth all his goings. You understand? There are multiple realities in this world. There are parallel realities, all based off the potential choices that an individual can make in their lives. And the Lord is omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipotent, and yeah, basically omnipotent and omniscient. The Lord sees all, the Lord could do all. The Lord understands the possibilities of the individual. You cannot escape. His own iniquity shall take the wicked himself, and he shall be holden with the cords of his sin. I'm gonna tell you guys. Let's end it, right? Because we have one more line. He shall die without instruction, and in the greatness of his folly he shall go astray. I'm gonna tell you something. In the New Testament, Jesus also talks about. Let me pull that up again. Sorry. Jesus also talks about the dangers of sexual sin. He talks about you could kill someone, right? You could steal someone. You could steal from someone. You could do this. And that's sinning outside of the body, which you will still be subject to punishment for and subjugation. But when Jesus also said, when you do sexual sin, you commit sin against your own body. We didn't listen from the Old Testament, so he decided to tell us again in the New Testament, right? In a new form, God, through his son, right? The begotten son. The trick is, guys, King Solomon, you have to listen to this guy's words. Anyone that has experience and they tell you about their experience in a very passionate way and pleading for you to listen, he is begging you to not fall down the same path as that person. So it gotta be dangerous. We don't need to understand the whys or the hows or the when. We have to understand if someone is pleading with us to not sin, we must not sin, and we must take their advice and get the hell out of here. Proverbs 5 is very, very powerful. It's one of many, many proverbs or many, many chapters in the Bible that directly allude to semen retention that I decided to talk about and that we should all heed and muster if we're to ascend in this interesting reality, right? The long, the tall, the short that you need to get from my video is this. Semen retention is incredibly powerful because you are not only retaining the energy that you are producing through your own labor and through your own efforts, right, for yourself, but you are also staying safe from the dangers of the strange woman warned about in the chapters of Proverbs, in the myriad chapters and books in the Holy Bible. Spoken to us by someone that has sinned and done wrong for the tribe of Israel and caused the entirety of the Chronicle of the Kings chapters of the sons warring against each other due to the sexual sin of King Solomon's father and the sexual sin that King Solomon himself has followed in the line of his father. And with that being said, that is all I have to say today. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, subscribe, share the video with some peers. Do not ever let this place get you down. It is a reality that has been traversed by people that have been way wiser and way more powerful than us and way more powerful than we could ever be. And it will do us right in this reality, in this contemporary time, to heed the lessons and the advice of the ones before us in order to not make the same mistake as our predecessors, our progenitors, right? The primordial, the proverbial Adam and Eves, right, so to speak. And don't let this place ever get you down, and stay radiant. I'll see you guys in the next video.